Hey guys, yes, the Bobbers, we won today. And even more importantly, ah, my man, Will Setterfield. Watching everyone scrambling to get him in, it is a joy. It is glorious. And I'm looking forward to seeing what is to come. Not everything went my way this week. A bit of foolishness from my own part, as well as a bit of, unlucky scoring. But all in all, I'm very happy with the progression of my team, and we've had some points come in our favor, and we've moved up a bit in the ranks. So here we go. I ended up scoring 2183 for the week, which is the top 20% score. Ended up moving, around 23,000 people, and now I'm around 51k. It's good. That's the thing. Like I said in the last video, and as we've been talking here, it is very easy for things to turn early on in the season. You have a lot of volatility, a lot of up and downs, because everyone is on so similar points. The longer the season progresses, the more you'll see a genuine reflection of how good your team is, and it's a lot to do with how you trade from here on out. It's one thing to have a good starting team, obviously very beneficial, but how you trade, decisions you make is a very big deal. And I ended up scoring 2183, and it wasn't too bad. Now you can see that this team is actually a little bit different compared to what you would have seen before. I've got a crap ton of money in the bench. I've got 300 in the bank, 395k, and a lot of that came as a result of, yes, Laird's not there anymore, and I've got Cogs here instead. Now you might be thinking, Joe, you're being way too overreactive. You shouldn't have gotten rid of Laird so quickly, and he went bananas. He went 147. He scored. He went very big, and that's the thing. It's Laird. You're not going to have two bad scores in a row from him. Now, was the timing of my trade optimal? Probably not. Okay, because the person who I ended up getting in for him, Cornelio, won 107. But I freed up some cash because I knew clear as day that there's this one player who plays for Collingwood in the back line who is an absolute must-have, and he's going to be in my side right away. God damn it! I couldn't wait for this lockout to finally release, so I could finally get in there and do the trades that I want to do, and get in this Macedonian. He has to get in there. This Masso from Collingwood, unbelievable. Like father, like son, unbelievable talent. But the team did okay. Obviously, the back line really let me down, as I'm sure it did for a lot of people. It's so funny. 73, 70, 76, 76, 78. Come on, Constable. Why didn't you hit the 70s? And then I have a whole back line full of 70s. Obviously, it's not the best. Ridley at this game, he started off really well, but there was already alarm bells early on because we lost Sam Wiedemann as well as a late out before the game, and Massimo D'Ambrosio was brought in. Was called in as a late in to come in for Wiedemann, and that automatically made things be like, okay, so Massimo's come in. This probably means that we're going to have Langford go forward, and he's going to have to step up, and my word, he stepped up. 5 goals, career best. But Ridley did not have the same role as he had last week. It wasn't that same distributor role because we now had a guy like Massimo, who's a great ball user, someone with very creative kicks, also being involved in a lot of the play. And really had so many opportunities to clunk mark after mark, but they just were not sticking for some reason today. Really dropped a lot of marks, and that just happened to be the case all around the ground for our players. It just felt like so many times we had opportunities, the players were in a position to take the mark, but they just weren't clunking them. And Ridley, unfortunately, was also a victim of that today. And it seemed to eat away his confidence because he wouldn't even try mark anymore. He would just automatically go, start spoiling, start fisting it. So, look, it's not ideal, by any stretch that you're paying 504K for someone who's going to be low on confidence. The only saving grace is he's playing St Kilda this week. And we can tell by now that defenders love to play against St Kilda. So I have no qualms holding on to Ridley for another week. And if things don't work out, then again, we might have to reassess. Same thing with Doherty. Jones should have scored 90 plus if he wasn't off the ground for so long due to his injury. He's served okay. He's done all right, but he's going to go because there's someone I have to get in. Jimby, this kid is really good, very respectable. Someone that I have no issues with fielding. He's able to dish out the occasional 80. If he averages 80, that's sensational. McKenna, 78. Wasn't the best game, but it wasn't the worst game either. He's certainly capable of doing better. And I think he was in negative points early in the game as well from an early clanger. So look, for him to work back into the game, if he's averaging around 80 again for that price, we take that. Constable, another week of higher dream team to Supercoach scoring. And I don't know, it's 67, but he really wasn't noticeable in the game. I think Darcy Wilmot here on the bench certainly was a lot more. Even Cowan, I think both of these guys were more eye-catching as opposed to a guy like Constable. But look, if he's able to dish out 70s for us at 123K, that is so good. 100% you take that. We want him to be a genuine fieldable option where he's not going to drop us any stinkers and make us money along the way, which he will as long as he keeps ticking over with this scoring. Bont 125, you don't mess with it. You just take it. All right. There's something, people might have been like, oh, Bont 125, but Tom Green or a Cogs, they can go 150. Okay, fine. They can go 150, sure. But what happens if they don't? You are essentially gambling 125 guaranteed points for a potential, if you're aiming for like a 150, you're gambling 125 points for 25 extra points. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. It's not feasible because at any point, like Cogs, he was on like 50 at quarter time. It was ridiculous. He came out like a house on fire and on 107. So, if once you have the VC, you don't be too greedy. The universe has a way of punishing people who are very greedy. Green and Cogs were both, I suppose, symbolic of just how flat the Giants were. Playing away, it was a real opportunity to get another win, but Kingsley is the first new coach to drop a game, and it's the Giants who were playing obviously without Kelly, without Perryman, away from home, and the Eagles are like a 6-goal better side when they're playing at home, and they really look like the better side against the Giants today. So it's very disappointing for our Giant boys, but they'll be sure to bounce back. Setters, bro. I was at the game today with some fellow YouTubers, like, of course, George, JD from Fantasy Take TV, absolute legends. You got like Spills, of course, from Spills Supercoach. You got like Steve from SDS Supercoach. These guys were at the game. It was really good. It was really fun. We watched the game together, and obviously some other members of the Fantasy Take TV Discord. So it was an absolute honor and privilege, and so much fun to meet up with these guys in person for the first time. It was awesome, and especially when I was the only one that owned this guy. I was the only one with Setterfield, and I gotta say, I did their heads in. They were just hearing nonstop for the whole game. Setterfield. I know I was insufferable, and for that, I am very apologetic. But come on, you gotta understand why I was going off my head. I especially went bonkers bananas when SETTERGOAT kicked that goal. I was freaking raving. Let's go. Well, SETTERGOAT, as the Supercoach Insider boys would say, SETTERGOAT, bro. And now everyone's rushing to get him in. Sensational, absolute mad lad. He was a pod. He will not be a pod next week. That's for sure. He's already, I think, 11% of people already brought him in this first half hour after opening. Hopper, he bounced back. He made all of the people who traded him out pay. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Warpedo playing over at the SCG against the Swans. Another 99 to back up his 97 from last week. These three boys. These are the trio. This is the trinity of mid prices that I think everyone's going to be needing to bring in. They're all scored well. They're all going to have good scores in their 3-round averages. Obviously, Hopper had a poor first week, but that's going to drop off real quick. The first game isn't the most important one. He's now got round 2 with a 119. Setterfield now has a round 2 of 147. Warple a round 2 of 99. This is Vidinas. You need these three, and and having these three guys do as well as I hoped initially has made my slow start to the season feel worth it. That I've got these three guys. Cam McKenzie is one that I brought into the team. He was a Finn Callahan that I brought, but I thought to myself, look, my trades are limited. I need to get all the must-have players in these first 2 weeks. I need to ensure that I have the right mid-prices and I've got the right rookies. Having these two is absolutely vital in order to set myself up for the rest of the season. Don't think short term. This is a long season. And very quickly, if you cut edges here and there with your team in this first instance, in the first 2 weeks, you're going to feel it not now. You're going to feel it down the track. And other teams will be able to do things that you are simply not able to. So you got to be careful. You really have to put in the hard yards early to ensure that you've got everything that you need. And I thought to myself that Callahan is a luxury. Callahan is also a risky luxury because we know that he's playing injured. And obviously this sport is a very physical and taxing game. It is so easy to get injured when you're in perfectly good health, let alone if you're playing with an injury. So I simply decided, you know what? Even though I expect him to outscore Cam McKenzie this week, because I know Cam McKenzie is going to struggle at the narrower SCG against a very difficult and tough opposition in the Swans, I still thought, you know what? Cam McKenzie is one who's going to play every week, won't be subbed out, was their best midfielder last week. So he's going to keep getting the opportunities to keep playing, and he will make me money compared to a guy like Callahan who could very easily get injured. So I took the risk, and I actually went off of Cam McKenzie, off of Callahan, and went back to Cam McKenzie. Look, he didn't score great, but I'm very happy, though, that I have him because he's certainly capable of scoring more than that. Oh, he had a tough game. It is what it is. This is obviously a mistake. This one had me very upset, as you guys all know. Ashcroft at M9, because the way I'd set it up before, this was Nazaya here, Nazaya Wangan and Miller, and this was Callahan. So I wasn't going to field Ashcroft over any of those mid prices. But after what happened with Dacos and the absolute requirement to bring him in, things had to change for me. And unfortunately, the way I had set up before, I had put Hollins as the emergency. I don't know how. I don't know why. Clearly, Joe had a massive brain fade. he had a brain fart moment. And as you can see, I've got a Baker 55 instead of an Ashcroft 105, which if you look at this, which if you remember the score that I had previously, it would have meant that I was going to score over 2,200. So I've lost myself 50 points. I would have scored over 2,200. Look, it is what it is. Early rankings don't matter. It's all about right now building your team. It's very easy to be distracted by early rankings, and that could actually take your eye off the prize, which is having a better ranking at the end of the year as opposed to at the start of the year. Nothing worse than starting hot and then wasting away the opportunity, and ending up finishing low. You feel like the opportunity slipped away from you compared to if you start back and you really just prioritize working away and building your team right. Ashcroft should be here. He's definitely fieldable. Ollie Hollands, gun, star, legend. Very happy I have him. I think he's cemented in the role. Even if Walsh was to come back, Chesser, he's gone. Rowan showed us why we picked him, what he showed in the preseason, what he showed historically. It's sensational. Madden, I obviously as the captain because I took Bond score and I have Wits. Wits 108. Look, it was a fairly quiet game for him, really. He had a couple of intercept marks, even kicked the goal. So for 108, it really wasn't a great performance for him, which can be heartening that even in a bad performance, even in a performance where he really only had like 6 touches, he's still on 108. So this is actually not too bad. Dunkley, 117, Dunks. Rosie, 92. Look, he's a classy player. And I expect we'll see a lot of 90 scores out of him. He might be someone that is a real luxury trade, maybe later down the track. Taranto, he's always going to be held back by his kicking efficiency. The dude is such a butcher. He can open up his own restaurant. He can open up his own steakhouse, I reckon. But 95, all good. Errol Goulden, my word, this kid's insane. So good. You love to see him play. Tanner Bruin, I've cried enough. I've called out Chris Scott enough. And he's not gonna say anything more about that. She's welcome aboard, Sheezel. Excellent, sensational, 114. What we want to see from you. Fergus going with a 49. You can't expect too much from a key forward for the Hawks. And Long with another 60-plus score. So really happy with this guy. Very, very happy. He's got mid DPP as well, which is what we're going to put to good use for this team. It's done decent. Obviously, I've had primos not fire. Obviously, I've had, maybe not to the extent of others, but I've also got these really important rookies. Now, there's another rookie that's going to be really important to get in, someone who's done an excellent job thus far, and that is, you come here, swing long into the mids, and it's Cade Chandler. Chandler kind of come in. He's done an excellent job. He's got a 93 and a 71. Great. He's looking to make us a lot of money if he performs decently well. Tanner Bruin can get stuffed. Absolutely done with him. Jack Siebel, welcome aboard. Siebel and Sheezel. And then what else do we got to do? 350K. Liam Jones, thank you for your service. Because of that 5 in your system, you're not going to make a lot of money for me. In the first round, yes, that 5 will drop out very quickly, but how can you not have this guy? This dude is a must. And so here we go. In getting rid of Laird this week, yes, I know I've lost the score, but I don't end up using a trade to get rid of Laird because then I'd miss out on a guy like Chandler. I'd miss out on getting him. And I think it's really important that you prioritize. Again, I've given up points this week compared to what I could have otherwise have gotten. But I've prioritized, and now I've got a bench full of players who are going to play every game. Madden obviously is my loophole at this point, but I think I've got really great rookies who are going to make me money. The bench is so vital. You can't understate it. You really can't. Having the cash cows on the field is really important, but having the cash cows on the bench is equally as important. Maybe just a little bit less as important. But you need to have someone there so that you can end up doing a 1 down, 1 up to a primo. A 1 down, 1 up to a primo. A 1 down, 1 up to a primo. Like, that's what we want. That's the whole point of having these guys in there, so that we can literally just do a 2-trader every week and get these guys up into Uber Primo status. So I'm really keen. I'm really excited with how my team is looking. It's very exciting. What I'm going to do with so that my team is looking excellent at this point, to be honest. I'm very happy with it. I expect these guys to really bounce back, especially Ridley against the Saints this week. These guys are good. Everyone's going to be rushing to get Setterfield in. So even if he doesn't do well, guess what? All those people got baited in. I got the good scores and they get the bad scores. But it is what it is. I expect Setterfield to do really well, especially if he's healthy. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he can still play. In terms of I don't really have too many great captaincy options now that I got rid of Laird. That's been the biggest downside to that move. What I can do is I can VC. Bont loves to play at Marvel Stadium, so I can VC Bont and Captain Dacos. This would be insane. This is actually such a pod. I think I don't know how many people are gonna go with that route, but I think Richmond don't tag, and they're gonna play at the MCG, and Dacos at the MCG. You saw what he did. 149. It's unbelievable. And the thing is, Richmond give up a lot of points to people who play at halfback. So look, if Bont doesn't go crazy, if Bont gives me another 125, I'm gonna take it, obviously. But if he goes like 100, why would I not full send on Dacos? If you think I have a better captaincy option that I haven't just seen, this is right off the bat, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We are pumping up the content for you guys. Thank you so much for all of your encouragement. I know I've been very negative in relation to how, for example, points were going and the scores, but really, optimistic and thankful that I've got people out there who are willing to encourage me, to back me in. And remember, guys, this game is for fun. It's meant to be a fun game. You're not meant to stress about it. And looking to try and build your way up. Get your team as good as possible moving forward and have a bit of money left as well. So thanks again for watching, guys. Remember, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to. Bye for now.